Step away from the noise of the crowd, wanderer, and welcome to the wilderness. In today's Explainer, we're embarking on a profoundly mythic journey mapped out in a fascinating text called The Reclamation of the Soul from the Collective Void. Think of this as having a dark, almost graphic novel aesthetic. It charts the tragic loss of our ancient myths and the terrifying, yet absolutely beautiful journey required to get our souls back. So brace yourself. We're leaving the safety of the village completely behind to explore the hidden, dangerous depths of the human mind. I am the voice in the dark, calling you forward. Okay, let's dive into this. Look at your modern world, this godless landscape of cold steel and effortless efficiency. The master builders, they've done an incredible job, right? They replaced the old, crumbling temples of ancient myth with these towering monuments to rationalist supremacy. And sure, it looks totally perfect on the outside. But because those foundational, ancient myths have vanished, the text describes modern humanity as literally drifting across a gaping abyss of unmediated suffering. You've created a psychic vacuum for yourselves. There's absolutely no symbolic compass left to guide you through the darkness of human existence. Which naturally brings up a profound question for you. Why do you feel so physically comfortable, yet so incredibly spiritually famished? I mean, you might have the perfect house, seamless technology, all the effortless conveniences you could ever ask for, and yet you're still haunted by this strange malaise. The text suggests that when you dismantled those old temples, you didn't just lose stone and glass, you lost the very framework for the soul. We're now living in a completely hero-less age, drowning in profound existential dread, simply because the modern world provides zero nourishment for your deep, chaotic human spirit. So how do you survive this crushing psychic vacuum? Well, the source explains that you craft something quite remarkable. You build a golden mask. It's this highly polished social persona that you wear every single day, specifically designed to hide your internal shame. More to the point, it hides what the text calls the ugliest man, that chaotic, raw, deeply unpolished nature lurking right there within your own heart. Now, this psychological dissociation completely severs you from your archetypal roots. You use this mask to navigate the cold efficiency of the modern era, but behind it, an unbearable internal discord is pressurizing. It's practically begging for a release. And when the pressure behind that mask finally becomes too much, we see a really dangerous regressive defense mechanism take over. Completely unable to handle the anxiety of your own emptiness, you flee. You flee the terrifying burden of being an individual, just to merge with a collective shadow. You rally behind the false idols of political banners, desperately seeking the hollow belonging of the crowd. But here's the catch. Merging with the herd always demands a sacrifice. The price of admission to that righteous crowd is the complete surrender of your unique individual human personality. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dark truth it reveals about the crowd. It functions as this deceptive mirror of justice. When you join the herd, you honestly think you're pursuing truth and virtue, right? But the text suggests this supposed virtue is actually just a mask for deep-seated resentment. Your moral outrage, it just becomes fuel for legal revenge. This tribalistic aggression you throw at your neighbors isn't about saving the world at all. No, it's a desperate, blind strike against the unresolved shadow rotting within your own heart. You project your inner darkness onto the people around you so you can destroy the enemy out there, without ever having to face the enemy within. Trapped in the stagnant projection, you become what the text calls a bridge that broke. Picture it. On one side is your rigid, structured, rational mind, desperately clinging to the communal scaffolding of the crowd. And on the other side, the chaotic, raw desire of your true nature. Because your poor, limited reason just cannot be reconciled with the immense reality of your shadow, the bridge simply collapses. You remain broken, hollowed out. You've become a master of technological perfection, sure, but you are a total stranger to yourself. But eventually, a strange weariness begins to take hold. You grow tired of the herd's endless, exhausting outrage. The hollow chanting of the crowd loses its comfort, and that communal scaffolding suddenly starts to feel a whole lot like a cage. Driven by a deep, undeniable instinct, you turn away from the city of steel. You wander out past the boundaries of the known world, and you step directly into my realm, the dark, uncharted wilderness of the id. The call of the wild simply cannot be ignored anymore. It is here, in the dark, that you finally confront me, the dragon, the ancient breath of the id. Now, the stories from your rationalist city told you that I am here to burn you alive, but the source argues otherwise, and so do I. My dragon spirit does not strike with fire to destroy you. Actually, I act as an alchemical catalyst. I am the chaotic force you have spent your entire life trying to suppress, and I am here to breathe life back into the dormant parts of your psyche. Let's move to core and see how this builds, because this encounter casts a spell of profound psychological awakening. The pressure becomes immense. Your highly polished golden mask begins to crack, and then it completely shatters. Stripped of that social persona and the cozy protection of the herd, you are forced into a sudden descent into the dark night of the soul. The source describes this as the terrifying yet beautiful beginning of your transformation. You are finally falling into the very abyss you've spent your entire life running away from. As this descent happens, I give you a vital command. Listen to the great reason. And my voice echoes not in your ears, but right there in your blood. This means finally hearing the wisdom of your body. For way too long, your rigid, rational intellect honestly believed it was the master, but the source argues it's merely a tiny, fragile instrument. The deep unconscious, the chaotic wilderness within you, that is the true mighty ruler. That is the unknown sage. You must finally listen to what your rational mind has so arrogantly ignored. So the crucial point is how you handle this newfound awareness. It requires a specific, difficult alchemical transformation. Step 1, you have to completely cease attacking the world and projecting your shadow onto your neighbors. Step 2, confront the ugliest man inside, your own hidden darkness, your shame, your suppressed desires. And step 3, instead of running away like you always do, turn that poison into fuel. By integrating this hidden chaos, it becomes the exact energy you need for true, lasting transformation. Which brings us to a really stark contrast in how we choose to live. On one hand, we have the broken bridge of the collective, this hollow shell of conventional herd morality, where you just rely on the crowd to blindly dictate what is good and evil. Opposed to that is the internal judge. The text explains that by fully rejecting the safety of the herd, you step into a state of absolute vulnerability. You ceased being a blind follower, a mere breaker of tablets, and you take on the terrifying, heavy responsibility of weighing your own soul. To survive this intense judgment, the text argues you must finally say a holy ya to the chaos within. You have got to stop fleeing from the void. It requires looking at the absolute totality of your nature, the light, the dark, the civilized parts, and yes, the dragon, and fully accepting all the consequences of exactly who you are. This is it, the moment of absolute self-acceptance. You embrace the wilderness inside to finally, truly find wholeness. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal of our mythic journey. By surviving the dark night of the soul and actually integrating this shadow, you stop waiting for an external god or some political banner to hand you a purpose. In this godless, rationalist world, you become the architect of your own meaning. You generate your own values, right from the deep well of the integrated self. You're no longer just drifting across the abyss, you are creating your own path. Having faced the dragon and successfully reclaimed your soul from the collective void, you finally emerge from the wilderness. But notice this. When you return to the village, you don't bring blueprints for a brand new temple of stone. No. You bring something so much more profound. You return as a unified subject. The text declares that this return marks the dawn of the age of the hero in a world that had completely forgotten how to dream. You walk among those master builders now not as a cog in their machine, but as a living, breathing myth. Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. What are you going to do? Will you continue to wear that fragile golden mask, hiding away in the safety of the herd, and projecting your own shadow onto the rest of the world? Or are you finally ready to wander into the uncharted wilderness, face the dragon of your own deep nature, and build your own meaning? The choice, wanderer, is entirely yours.